Friday night, a 1 hour build-up right here on Fox Footy. Gary Lyon will lead us. We have been so blessed in our 360 family this year to have players who are at the pointy ends. The Collingwood story and all the travails have been with Jeremy Howe. Jeremy, great to have you here tonight.
Thanks for having me, boys.
And Toby Green during the season where he has soared in the estimations of so many as the captain of the Giants. Toby, great to have you back.
Hey boys, how you going?
Will, are you feeling a level of impatience like so many of your fans are?
Yeah, certainly. I think last week, I was just saying before, last week was a bit of a slow week. Didn't have a team in front of us, but watched with great anticipation, watching Toby's boys go out and get the result. But to have someone sitting in front of you now and know who you're playing, this week's kind of gone a little bit quicker, which is nice.
You joined 360 this year, then you broke your arm, took some free cash. We didn't see you for a while. How's your season? How would you describe the season and the fact that you've got an opportunity right now to maybe get to where at one stage you didn't think was going to happen?
Yeah, I think I'm incredibly grateful to be back playing and enjoying what I'm doing. I think, yeah, the year certainly didn't start the way that I was hoping for. You do so much work to get yourself fit and firing, and then it's gone in the snap of your fingers, or in my arm in this case. But yeah, look, I'm stoked to be back. I feel like the boys played such a tremendous amount of good footy throughout that period, and I was able to slot back in and trying to do my thing. But yeah, this year's a bit of a different feel to last year. We weren't overly sure in what the ceiling was going to be like for us last year. There was a bit of expectation going into this season. We feel like we're a better side this time around.
Don't take this the wrong way. I was worried about you when you come back. You did all right. Then you had a game where you weren't touching the ball. There was some uncharacteristic mistakes from you, and I'm thinking, God, what are you doing, Jez?
Yep.
Are you all forward? Are you going to go back? But it seems to have settled, and your confidence from afar seems to back to where it was.
Yeah, I think for me personally, the first game was Adelaide. I think I got through that purely on adrenaline. I was that excited, I was that pumped up to get back. The second game was Gold Coast. I felt like I started all right, got subbed out because I was getting managed anyway. And then, yeah, I guess as it kind of progressed, I was a bit hit and miss there for a few games, but I think as AFL athletes, it takes a bit of time to get match hardened again. And for me personally, I feel like I'm in that sweet spot now. I've got about 11 games under my belt throughout the season. So I feel like I'm kind of feeling good at the right time of year.
Spring in the legs?
Yeah.
Moving really well?
Yeah, I feel like I've got my legs back.
Arm,
and the confidence with my arm, that's kind of... I wouldn't be able to put my hand up and certainly be playing finals if I wasn't.
Toby, we thought by this time of year you might have been our independent observer assessing the last four, and yet here you are with the Giants in preliminary finals. When did it start to dawn on you that this was a possibility?
Oh, probably not till after that Carlton game when we had to win that to make finals, and then once you're in the finals, there's 8 teams that can win it. So we backed ourselves in, but. I guess it wasn't till the Blues game where we knew we were playing in September, and it was pumped to be back there.
Do you feel a real sense of momentum right now?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's palpable at the moment, but we play a bloody good side on Friday night, so we've got to bring our best footy, and we've got a lot of guys playing really good footy, and we feel like we're in a good position to take Collingwood on.
What are your memories, Toby? You didn't play at the 2019 preliminary final.
I remember running down underneath the ground with like 5 minutes to go. I think I was in a box and then ran to the boundary to watch the last 5, and Collingwood had kicked a couple, and then I just didn't want to... I thought if Collingwood got in front, I was going to walk home. So I was glad we got the job done that day.
So what's it mean to you to get this opportunity again, and as captain? I know we keep bringing it up, but it's just an important milestone in your career. To be in a position again as captain of a footy club, what does it, seriously, what does it mean to you?
Oh, I probably haven't reflected too much on it, to be honest, Rob. I'm just sort of living it at the moment. It's good fun, and really enjoying the last couple of weeks, and even that Carlton game. Like we had to win that to play finals, so felt like we've been in this position for a few weeks now, and it's kind of nothing different again. We've got to beat Collingwood to progress, and it's just a great time to be part of the footy club.
I had a mate at training up there today. He's texted me. He said, "Geez, the training's different up here. You got music blaring. Does that happen all the time? Was that part of?" We spoke to Adam Kingsley on Monday. Is that part of the psychological preparation of dealing with big noise on Friday night?
Nah, that's going every session from pre-season. I think the boys just like listen to it in the warm-up, gets you through the warm-up, and then you get into training.
Who's in charge of the music?
Xavier O'Halloran, Harry Himmelberg, they usually take control and get us going.
If you had a choice, what sort of genre would you choose?
I changed, mate. I like my English rap. I like deep house, so anywhere in between there.
Deep house or English rap?
Would you have many supporters if you put that on, do you think?
I'd have a couple, but I'd have to convince a few.
Last one to you, just about the game, Toby. There's been a lot of talk about who's going to play on you, and you're going to get someone and you have to be stopped or curtailed. Isaac Quainer is probably a possibility. You got him last year, you kicked goals on him. I thought it was a learning experience for him. That was under Buckley. And, of course, there's Braden Maynard. Have you got any idea who most likely will line up on you?
Nah, but Howie can probably tell you.
Howie?
I don't, mate.
Shut up, Tobe. Who do you think?
It might be
One of those
It
two?
might be a collection of all of us, I think.
But you do rotate, don't you, or not?
We do. We obviously play a bit of a defensive system down there, but understanding its stoppage, especially centre bounce, we don't like to rely on having too many 1v1s, especially against the guns of the competition. So we'll be all hands on deck with the offensive threats down there, and Toby's certainly one of them.
We all want the feistiness of Maynard versus Green. Toby, are you up for that?
Yeah, mate, I'm happy to. We'll see how we go. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. They're both bloody good players, so pay them the ultimate respect with my best performance.
Jeremy, the three preliminary finals you've played, so 18, and then I guess the two most recent. So 19 is your overwhelming favourites against the Giants, and that's hellishly disappointing. And then last year on the Cinderella run, which has garnered seemingly the whole football world right to the wire and 1 point. What are they worth to you now as you contemplate the next challenge?
Yeah, you certainly learn a little bit from them, but you know, we've kind of progressed, probably what I touched on before. We are a little bit of a different side this year as we were to last year, but I think even all through those games, they were such different games in terms of momentum. How we started was great against Richmond. How we started against the Giants was really poor. The Sydney game felt like it got away from us, and it's probably one of those ones where I thought it was going to be too far to close, and then all of a sudden there's a couple of minutes left and we're within a few points. So, yeah, you get good experience from it. It's probably more the mental side of things. Like, you go into games thinking, oh yeah, it's just another game, but it's not. The expectation around it, the result in the end, it's win or go home. And we feel like we've got a large amount of people that have been in those experiences before. Hence, you know, last year was a big experience for them. So, yeah, they're big games. They're incredibly hard to win, and obviously the ultimate prize is ahead of you.
During the home and away season, coaches and players always talk about, no, we'll concentrate on our game. As it gets pointier and pointier, how much time is then, say, devoted to what the Giants have been able to show in the last 2 weeks? You can't ignore what they're doing. Has the attention gone to them more than, say, an opposition in round 22?
Oh, I guess the teams that are going extremely well, you certainly look at the strengths first and see what, you know, is obviously going to be a bit of a problem for us and a challenge. And to the Giants' credit, they've been in the strongest form. You know, I think they won 11 of the last 13 or something like that. And, you know, their score charts would say that they can score from multiple avenues, which is really hard to defend. But we'd like to think our team D is one of our strong suits for us as well. And yeah, you've got to respect the opposition that you come up against, and whether it's a percentage, but you know, we focus heavily on what we want to do as well, and it's definitely a balancing act at this time of year.
How much of a downer was the Taylor Adams injury in the bye week, which is the source of some frustration given how little footy you play across the best part of a month?
Yeah, probably hurts Toby just as much as what it is for me. Maybe not this week, but yeah, look, it's really hard to see a guy that works incredibly hard, you know, one, on his body, but two, he's such an influential guy around the club. He's our hardest trainer. He's one of the most professional guys in terms of getting his body right, and it's really unfortunate. Obviously, he was injured last year, couldn't quite make the prelim, and then this year, his body's actually held together really well, and he's been really consistent in that new role that he's been able to adapt to. And to see him go down in the way like that at training is really disappointing. But he's the kind of guy that's certainly not going to leave any stone unturned to try and get himself back, and fingers crossed he can.
When you won the Carlton game, Toby, you were interviewed after the game by Fox Footy, but you didn't want adulation for yourself. You poured it on your great mate Stephen Coniglio in his 200th game. Coniglio last week was just absolutely rampant. Says a lot about the character of the person of when he was captain, and he struggled in that role, and then was co-captain, then he gave it up this year for you. Can you talk about the character of Stephen Coniglio?
Oh, the character, it's one of the best going round. He's just, he's been one of my best mates for 12, 13 years now. He's just so loyal, so caring, so compassionate, and I was just so pumped for him. Last week you saw the very best of him, but he's been close to that all year, to be honest. And again in his 200th as well, that was an awesome achievement for him. And there'd be nothing better than playing in the grand final with him, because he was injured for that 2019 run.
So it's a support for you. As your mate, you'll get it. But as a leader, and him getting the captaincy taken off him by the coach and giving it to the singular captain, was there deep dive conversations on that, or as mates he just comes over and says, "Well done, buddy. Good luck. I know you'll do a good job."
Yeah, he was 100% supportive, and he backed me in. And King has said that there'd only be one of the three captains would be captain, and that was just how it was. I think we just accepted it, and Chook and Cogs have both been so supportive and played a huge role this year as well. And they're both playing amazing footy as well. So it certainly helped, and I just loved working with him.
Will Nick Daicos pick up where he left off? Is he right to go?
I hope so. He obviously got a little bit of a taste of match sim last Friday in playing one of the 25-minute quarters that we played, and he certainly doesn't look like he's lost anything. So, yeah.
Where's he playing? Don't worry about that. We know all that. We know he's a gun. He's going to play behind the ball, and he's missed so much footy and easing back into it, or he's going to be starting midfielder? Or you think there's a possibility that it could be a both sort of role?
It could be a mixture of both. I think, arguably, if we got bogged down with ball movement, he can certainly help us out of the back line. But I think his most influential role, is centre forward, where he's using the ball, kicking to our forwards. I know they love the feedback coming off his boot. So, yeah, he's done a mountain of work, and it's I'm actually really proud of him to get to where he is, because this time of year I'd love to see him do his thing.
Bit of fun. But do you know where he's playing on the weekend?
Yep.
I love the way you lied then. That was just beautiful, and I'm thinking to myself, you're lying. You're lying to us. Yeah. But it's going to be a huge discussion point. What to do with Nick Daicos? He's such a professional. I would imagine he could easily jump straight back in the middle, but I think there might be some reservations that he might have to go behind a little bit.
Have to wait and see.
Any comments on that?
Do you think, Toby, he might be in your area of the ground?
Yeah, I reckon he'll be at half-back, but I wouldn't know. But I reckon he'll be playing half-back, yeah.
Who would you rather play on, Nick Daicos or Maynard on the half-back flanks?
Oh, they've both got good weapons. I don't think I'll be playing on Nick Daicos, though, if he's down there. So I'm pretty sure I'll be seeing Braden.
All right. Last one around the environment. So 2017, that Richmond game, 94,250 odd. I reckon there's going to be a few more, and it's going to be similarly stacked. What are your memories of just how fierce that was?
Yeah, I kind of remember, I think the start of the third or start of the last, Richmond I think it was the start of the last, and Richmond might have kicked a few goals in the third, and they're up by 3 or 4 at the three-quarter time break. I think I remember running out to position at the start of the last quarter. I reckon it was the loudest thing I've ever heard. Yeah. I don't know if it helps or doesn't help you in any way, but it was just it was pretty cool to be a part of, and I'm sure it'll be pretty similar on Friday night. So really looking forward to it.